What's up everybody, Brett here, back in Kingdom Rush HD, a tower defense game. This is episode 8 I believe, and last time we finished the main story mission. We knocked out the Dark Tower, and yeah, we did that on the first try. It was pretty fun. I am excited to check out some of these other new maps that have opened up. And you'll see here, this one is a continuation of the last battle, and it's Pit of Fire. I was looking at doing the Ruins of Acaroth today. I think that'll be fun, and then depending on how long that takes, I should be able to get it on the first try, we'll see. But depending on how long this takes, I might go back and do maybe the Iron Mode challenges for these two, or this one, and we'll see what the time looks like as we get closer to that point. The hero I've selected is Oni. He's a guy I've never used before, and I'm interested to see how he works. Let's go ahead and read his bio. Relentless warrior in search of vengeance. His name inspires fear among the demon armies he faces, armed with his dark honor and his blazing katanas. Special abilities are Death Strike and Sword Torment. Curious what those are. We'll see them in action, no doubt. He has super high melee attack, very high health, no ranged, which is worth noting against flyers, and he's pretty fast. So cool, let's check him out, and let's go ahead without too much further ado. Let's jump into the Ruins of Acaroth. Defender of Lineria. The realm is at peace, but evil does not rest. Our agents report that the Ruins of Acaroth have been invaded by orc and goblinoid hordes. Gulthak, a new orcish warlord, has taken advantage of the power vacuum left by Vesnan, and his forces are terrorizing the area. We must drive these invaders away from the ruins. Very cool. Okay. A lot of these new maps are just going to be like boss battles. Some of them I do believe have multiple missions attached to them as if they were mini campaigns. And now that I look at this, this might be cool to do as part of kind of a continuation if it truly is like story wise. Let's take a little break from that whole like lava aesthetic and go here. Let's check it out. And I do remember this level. I don't remember like the tricks of it or anything like that. Got the Triforce here. And the Triforce here as well. This guy looks awesome. Very high like RNG on his attack damage, but maybe he attacks twice, so that's why they did that. And very high health, and he comes with low armor, so that's good. Let's check out what we will be facing here. Tons of goblins. 2 potential wave points and 1 exit. And let's see, we only have 600 starting gold. That is not a lot. And I have a feeling that our bombards are going to be crucial here. The placements. And these look strong to me, and we could potentially make this a barracks. I'm positive this is a barracks. I mean, this is like without a doubt going to be an excellent barracks location. This could be an excellent spot for our first ranger tower. It will hit all incoming units, allowing us to get value out of any kind of Wrath of the Forest and that larger AoE. Let's go ahead and put that down. See how many goblins he can chop up right as they come out. And I would love to put another Dwarven Bombard here, but I think this is going to have to be something of a crucial barracks location. Trying to apply some of my skills here and figuring out what is the best placements, or what are the best placements for our towers, because we could potentially set up something right at the start here. Instead of trying to make a little like bastion of defense in the background, we could make 2 in the foreground. There's just not enough, there's no towers here. Okay, let's do what I am currently thinking. We need something here. Let's move forward a little bit. This may be a very good map for the Musketeer garrison. Yeah, let's get that. Look to upgrade it. It'll hit this entire loop. And I'm looking at this area right here. This is a very powerful position as well. But we do need another barracks. And I'm thinking if I put this here, I can leave the guys there. And in a pinch, I can pull them down here to help defend. So that's what we have to start. Let's see how that works. And we can use our reinforcements. Oh wow, he's like one-shotting these guys. I'm sure once he levels, he will be. Wow, he does some kind of spike move at level 2. So he actually seems to unlock his abilities sooner than the other heroes. So he's already level 3. That's excellent. Let's bring him down. And we certainly want to call early for the gold. We're barely making it to our towers at the moment. Let's put another Dwarven Bombard here. And a Mage Tower there. Make sure he stays in the fight. I have a feeling he might get better armor as this goes. Let's let him fight these orcs. And we can rain a fire and do a call down here. And that was a death strike. And I'm going to assume that's not a one-hit type of move. There are those in the game. It very well could be, or it could just be an extremely high damage attack. But we'll figure that out if he ever like one-shots an ogre or something. We'll find out pretty fast. And I'm watching him right now, hoping he'll jack that dude up. And this is where, okay, so it's not a one-hit kill. That is worth knowing. So here come the flyers. And we can always drop fire on these guys. But it would be better if we had the appropriate towers and we didn't have to waste that. And I think we're fine. With our reinforcements ability to shoot the air, we should be fine. So a new enemy for us, excellent, the Orc Champion. The elite fighting force of the Goblinoid Horde equipped with heavy armor. So slow speed, great armor. Okay. And so my kind of initial feelings were correct here about putting a strong wizard tower up front to get that value. And I say to get that value because it's a tower that will always be firing. Let's just drop this. I was hoping for some better random fireball placement, but what can you do? And I was thinking also about putting a musketeer here. Gotta be careful we're not building too many low-tier towers as opposed to upgrading correctly. Oni's now level 5. He has medium armor. That's excellent. We were hoping to see that. And this guy with his high armor, we're going to want to put like a mage tower here, for instance. And we can even look to block this area up. Blocking one area and letting the other run past is a good strategy for splitting up the targets for your guys. You don't want to leak to these wolves, that would be pretty crappy. And they ran straight through them. I'm seeing lots of good positions for Tesla towers to clear out the chaff. But let's go ahead and get a sorcerer mage here. Wow, he wrecked that guy, so that was solid. And here, I mean, this is also an excellent place for a ranger's tower, and it's also a very good place for a musketeer. I'm gonna get the ranger's hideout. And here we're starting to see our old nemesis, the shaman, again, with his ability to heal. But we're doing fine. And we can quickly upgrade this to a musketeer garrison to give ourselves a bit of overwatch, and we can back up these guys so that the musketeer is able to provide overwatch here to this position. Let's make sure we're not leaking the wolves. Gotta say, I like his kit. He's very strong. His damage has quite a bit of RNG to it, but his abilities are solid. And with that much armor, I'm not really worried about leaving him in the thick of it. He's only level 5 also. Maybe once he gets up to like level 10 or so, he ends up with high armor. That would be pretty good. And I don't want to overcommit to any particular area at this point. I could get an elemental, which might be nice. And if they pile up too heavy right here, we nuke them. Lots of armor, but with this lowering armor, this is a fine place for a dwarven bombard. Another consideration is to make this a paladin, and I think we're going to upgrade them regardless. And to make this like a berserker, or put a berserker here and place him about right there. I could see doing something like that. So a new unit. Goblin Zapper. Hardened and fearless goblins that run into battle tossing bombs at their enemies. Average speed, throws bombs, explode on death. So a bit of a like the demon hybrid with those archer units. So we don't want to rely too heavily here on our ground forces. That could end up coming back to haunt us. But what we do want to do is quickly get to a Tesla, perhaps? Yeah, and right there, they just nuked our hero. So, the range sucks, but I think once they're able to hit maximum targets, as well as apply the overcharge, they'll be quite powerful. And always use the trick of just dropping your reinforcements directly on top of these type of guys. And we do want to get Oni in the fight. We don't want him sitting back. Okay, and here we have wolves. So this is exactly what the Tesla Tower is great at. We're going to put so much damage on them that by the time they get to the end, they will be dead. I don't like how weak this position is here. We'll see what we can do about that soon. Ugh. Okay, let's get him out of here. And that's fully upgraded now. Oni's doing work. Let's bring him down here, so you can have it out with these guys. And let's check out their attack damage, 20 to 40. That's pretty good for their HP. We can nuke these guys. Hopefully we get some good drops up top here. It looks like we did. So now we have air coming. And we should be fine for air. Let's call that early. And let's hope. Tesla towers do amazing against these guys, especially because it's hitting them as they're coming out the gate, and it's going to chain. Tesla tower, here we go. So now I'm super confident against the air. Let's bring Oni over here. Really need to get him leveling. Wow, he just chopped down that ogre pretty fast. Another new enemy, so forest trolls, very hard to kill. These behemoths can regenerate their wounds almost instantly. Very tough, slow speed, superb regeneration. Okay, first time we see those guys. And let's see, we're almost certainly going to drop some fire. If it doesn't outright do the damage we need on him, let's lure him in. We don't want him sitting outside of our tower range. I think now is a pretty solid time to get an elemental to help us block up this part of the battlefield. Lots of wargs. Another forest troll. We can look to get something like sniper shot. Let's check out their stats. They have no armor, just a lot of health, and they do a lot of damage. Yeah, well that's. I tried to bring Oni back, but couldn't get him. And here we'll keep these guys here just for a second, but then we're gonna bring them up. And we need to kill this guy badly. Hopefully we can. Okay, Oni comes through with a big death strike. But here we go. Let's bring them up. And we're gonna get some barbarians. And we can make these guys barbarians too. If they're engaged in melee with the units running down this path, that'll be fine. And if not, they'll be throwing axes into the units running down the other path, which is also fun. This also might have been better served as maybe another musketeer tower or an arcane tower, but we'll see. There we go, we have throwing axes now. I want to make sure they're at the very peak of their starting position. We can just upgrade that. We shouldn't ever leak any of these type of units ever again. Okay, cool. Another new enemy, the Warg Riders. Fearsome mounted champions, they dismount only when their warg dies. Great magic resistance, fast speed, and can dismount. So, very interesting hybrid unit. They'll have high magic resistance as long as they're on their wargs, and then they get down and then they have great armor, or high armor. So, kind of trying to throw us for a loop there. If we stack too much of one thing on one side, we could potentially be in trouble. I think we're going to get another Musketeer garrison here, and the reason is I think we're going to want sniper shots. Once this game is like, alright, here's a bunch of forest trolls, can you kill them? And here we go, there's 2 here. And having sniper shot could make the difference between leaking and not leaking. Get Wrath of the Forest there, something we always figured we would want to get. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Let's bring Oni down. Let him heal first. The Golem is doing fine. We can also get Transmutation. Which will be able to potentially turn one of these big guys into a sheep and let us just kill him. We'll see if we get lucky in that way. Oni's doing a great job tanking for us. Let's take some of this ridiculous amount of gold we have and start getting these upgrades. Give them some whirlwind effects. Get a shrapnel effect here that should be able to help us affect that part of the battlefield. Let's drop fire. It's on such a low cooldown. It's an early game habit to hold that as much as I do. And harder difficulties, earlier game, not holding that until the right moment can really mess you up. We'll get Big Bertha back here. Make a nice back line for defense. Make sure we don't have any real wasted spots. Nice. Watching Oni death strike people is pretty sweet. And this is why we make a little backline position. We could even potentially get rid of this and make it something else, but I don't remember. I think there is a boss on this battle. And I want to be prepared for that. And now we're at the point where every engagement is giving us, every wave that comes by is giving us so much gold. We need to just spend it. I'm sure we're getting some cool upgrades. Teleport is a fine one to get. Drop some fire. Was really hoping to get something over in this area. Oni's doing work. It's about to level. And our Golem is doing fine as well. Upgrade him. And he comes back. He has a very high health pool once upgraded. Get another Arcane Tower here and give him some of the upgrades. And let's make our Paladins back here very resilient. Call early. And we did fine. So if there is a boss battle here, it'll be on the last wave or after the last wave. And because of that, we want to prioritize upgrades that will translate into damage, not necessarily into... Like, we're not going to be able to polymorph a boss, right? So on the boss map, on the boss stage, that'll be somewhat useless. So that's not where we want to put our gold necessarily. And he's going to one-shot whoever we put his way. So So that's also a bit of a waste to, like, say, get a bunch of paladins. It's like they're just gonna get one shot. Barbarians are over here doing work. Elemental's doing fine against these big trolls. And they are getting crit. We've got to kill them quickly before we get overrun. Let's drop some fire here. I would probably reverse these two positions if I were given a chance to do so again. And I think I would sell this maybe and get another musketeer garrison. But at this point, this is fine. A little die hard for you. So Gulthak, I see his name right there. So here he comes. And we have a lot of gold. So let's get some of these upgrades here. We can call them early. Check him out. Gulthak, 12,000 HP, 200 to 600 damage as we expected. We're not going to be able to put guys in front of him except to slow him down a little. And no armor, surprisingly. So, he seems to be very slow. We're doing a lot of damage to him. This may be one of those things where the real danger is from his wave getting past us. So Oni's now level 10, thank goodness. We'll just throw some guys in his way. We're getting so much gold thrown at us. I don't necessarily want to put Oni in harm's way. Let's bring him down here to help clear the wave and isolate Gulthak. Got two achievements, Beam Me Up Scotty and Shepherd, at like the exact same time. So I'm assuming that's from teleporting a certain number of enemies. As well as turning guys into sheep. So. You don't want to get Oni killed. We just have so much gold, we just need to be doing this. Go Oni! Oni was able to take a few shots for us. And we got Gulthak. Now we just need to finish off his wave. Which shouldn't be a problem. I don't think Oni is overpowered, but he is very good as a melee hero. Another achievement, Orcs Must Die. That's another game I did play a lot a long time ago. Orcs Must Die. I think I played all of them. All the DLC. So yeah, that was a standalone level. And they have more challenges for us. We're still not fully upgraded, so we were able to do that pretty difficult mission there without full upgrades. All of which would have been very nice against these guys. Spiked armor, which also applies to our reinforcements. And we really want to get this to turn our mage towers into slow towers. I'll tell you what, to kind of, in my mind, I want to kind of stretch these maps out. I just don't want to just jump from this one to this one to this one to this one. Let's go back to this and try and get ourselves another star and check out the Iron Challenge, which I find are more fun just because they limit the towers that you can use. So we do get a hero, so let's take advantage of that and try out another new hero. And I kind of want to try out Alora Wintersong. She has Permafrost and Ice Storm. Let's select her. Check out the Iron Mode. So I think there might be flying units in here. So she should be able to hit the sky. So let's jump on in. Yeah, and right off the bat we have flying. It's showing us.
Ice, ice, baby.
Alright, got a little vanilla ice. What else do you say?
It's chilling time. Winter is coming. Ice,
Alright,
ice,
a little Game of Thrones.
cool.
Alright. So these are certainly excellent positions for our soldiers. Let's back them up just a little bit. And these are obviously excellent positions for our mage towers. Now the question here is, do we go for another mage tower here and here and then look to back these guys up from this position? And I think that's what we're going to do. Just get them as close as possible, and we can always move these guys back a little bit, and I think that's fine. Now, we did get a ton of gold here, so we can do something like this, get ourselves a stronger front line. This will be one of those things where we're not going to know until it starts whether or not we should have gone for quality or quantity. But I think getting the Sorcerer's Towers up front, lowering armor of any of these potential bad guys, and allowing our fighters to do damage to get through that armor is going to be solid. And then maybe placing arcane towers here. But we also might want to rely on our golems to help us block up these critical choke points. And I like having these two towers here. Very powerful. And she also gets her upgrade at level 2. That's maybe Permafrost. It's definitely a slowing effect. And she's already level 3. So her stats, low health as you would expect. Decent damage. And she does have some armor, so that's good. We can look to upgrade these as well. Once again, I'm employing the strategy of placing my reinforcements on one side and my hero on the other. Oh wow. Okay, so she calls down like an ice spike and she has a slow. So her in conjunction with these towers having the slow ability could be quite strong. Unfortunate that we don't have that upgrade yet, because I think that would synergize excellently with her. Just double the slow. And we can place her on the outside of this path. Their tendency, they're not going to walk this way ever. They're always going to want to walk this way. So having her on the outside means she'll never be in harm's way. That's another little kind of a trick that comes in very handy on some of the later maps and some of the other games in the series. And we're upgrading evenly because it seems to be very symmetrical how they're throwing the enemies at us. And instead of, just like we did when we originally beat this map. Oh, don't tell me that was it. Was it expecting us to like get wrecked there? I don't know. But we're not going to focus too much on these positions here. Instead, we're going to make another little fallback position there. But there are times where, if you're afraid of leaking, you're going to want your hero to body block for you. So she's not so squishy that she will die to, you know, little tier 1 wolves. So we don't need to be that afraid of putting her putting her in harm's way against wolves. We really just don't want to leak. And this may be a good time to use some of our fire and upgrade our back line. We want them to at least be strong enough to clear the wolves on their own.
Cool.
And I was thinking about honestly just making another sorcerer's tower, because if there comes a point in this where we're able to just start pumping out elementals, having 3 elementals here, I mean, that just seems kind of unbeatable. But I do value teleportation quite strongly. Also, the ability of these towers to just burn down large units like the Marauders, which we noticed were going to be coming up with this wave at some point. Their damage is 88 to 161 opposed to 49 to 90, so it's basically double. It doesn't have the armor reducing effect, so that's a little bit, it's worth noting as far as, compensating. But we can get ourselves a golem here, put him in the front lines. And we can get another one, put him on the other side. Let's put him right in front of our guys. Let him take the hits with his armor and high HP pool. Make sure she's always shooting. Here we go, big boy number 2. On that side. And you gotta love them. And they do a lot of damage on their own as well. They're not just damage sponges. But she does a ton of damage. Her spells are kind of crazy powerful. I'm liking them a lot. The only thing I'm curious about is whether or not they're going to send a lava elemental after us at some point. And she's even able to. I saw she rooted the big marauder guy. That's a very strong ability. And we can get some barbarians here in the back line to throw in some axes. Unless that's it. Okay. I'd be a little disappointed if that was it. But I can't imagine they're going to hit us with too much more at this point. And we always have our rain of fire in our back pocket. Would also love to get teleports. If we ever ended up with the gold for that. And here we go. I think we're nearing the end. When you start seeing Dark Slayers, you're probably getting pretty close to the end. High armor. Our guys do have Thorn's aura now. Very curious as to how much damage that's actually doing to these guys. But I'm sure it's not nothing. And there we go. We get a lava elemental. And we cleared that one side out. Let's make sure this side gets clear as well. And we can get teleport here. And she's level 10, and she does over 100 damage potentially per shot. Wow.
Chilling time. Winter is coming.
Is there another wave? That is the question. Sure it is. And we could get some paladins here. That certainly wouldn't be bad. Paladins with the Thorns aura sounds pretty damn strong. We can just nuke these guys. Let's give them their abilities. at least tier 1 of each. And this is a good position for her. She can kind of just sit in the middle and wreck these guys. Yeah, I was very curious about her range, but seeing how good this position is, we can just switch sides for our reinforcements. And we're not even needing to build back, so to speak, but we can do that in a similar fashion to how we did last time. Making some paladins here, some barbarians here, and then filling out this spot with some mage towers. We've almost got Rain of Fire, which we're going to use because we're leaking a little bit, but I think that's to be expected. I mean, that's precisely why we are building this backwards position. Let's make sure our paladins have the ability to defend themselves. And I think that's going to be it. We can get another elemental here. And now this is a, all of a sudden we kind of propped up a very strong back position. So not bad. We knocked that out, got a star, and we got to see another new hero. And tempting to go back to the Dark Tower to see what the Iron Mode challenge is there. We have some more time. I like to keep these videos about an hour. I think that's a pretty good watching length for any of you out there who are watching this. I like to watch videos personally from like a half hour to an hour, unless it's kind of in a stream format or there's multiple guys and girls, talking and having good conversation. Then for me, I can watch all day. I get on my exercise bike and just watch. But it's just me talking. I'm playing a single player game. I can't imagine somebody wants to sit down for 2 to 3 hours and watch as if it's some kind of like super interactive stream. But hopefully I'm entertaining enough for you guys, and my gameplay is good enough that you don't pull your hair out in frustration. So let's go into the Iron Challenge. So no bombardiers, and you'll remember from yesterday when I posted this that the graveyard is a major part of that level. Let's try out another new hero. There's Thor that we haven't seen. There's Hacksaw, who looks a lot like, if you ever played Warcraft 3, looks like a goblin shredder. And then there's Ingvar Bearclaw. Man, I'm all about like shape-shifting guys, werewolf type, werebear stuff. Whenever I played Diablo back in the day, old school Diablo, I'd always try to make like a werebear character, druid. Try to make that work. That was one of my favorite things to do. And if you ever read Lord of the Rings, there's definitely the OG werebear and the Hobbit. So let's take Ingvar. I'm kind of hyped on him right now. A warrior from the north, he commands the might of a bear and the aid of his ancestors. So maybe he doesn't turn into a bear. It says he has bear form. He'll either turn into a bear or he'll summon a bear. This makes it sound like he summons a bear. But either way, let's check it out. And let's go to the Iron Mode challenge here. He's just a big, cool looking Viking. He has much less RNG in his damage, which I appreciate. He starts off with low armor. And he seems to have, I think this is their resurrection time. So he has pretty low resurrection time comparatively and very high health. So I'm going to be worried about this graveyard until proven otherwise. And I'm also going to be worried about these summoning positions until proven otherwise. You'll notice the for sale sign on the Dark Tower. It's pretty funny. Let's play back here. Let's make a strong position there. And we can back them up like that. Give ourselves some mage towers there, and perhaps there as well.
Might and magic.
And we can get a ranger tower here. And I'm thinking about putting some sort of barracks in front of there, as opposed to maybe just another archer tower. Do you know what? I think I'm going to do the archer tower here. And I think Wrath, if I remember right, and I almost feel like I remember doing this a long time ago, with Wrath of the Forest being just crucial. They also gave us a ton of gold, I'm just realizing. We still have thousands of gold left. So let's knock that out. Let's do that. And there we go. We've already got double Wrath of the Forest. And we have a nice little position here to fight skeletons from. And we can look to get maybe teleports here or double golems to block this up. Let's see what kind of enemies we're facing. So, just a huge mix of enemies. We can do something like this. Can we place them directly on top of there? And I think that's fine, because if units are summoned here, we want them to interact with this. We don't want them just to summon here and then run to here. And then we've got to rely purely on our back line to take them out. And also, let's see what kind of range we're looking like. A ranger's hideout is not quite good enough. We might put a musketeer garrison there. And I think that'll be fine. Is that as good of a range as we can get? That's pretty dang close. Okay. Alright, let's see how this works. I'm anticipating a lot of units trying to do run-bys on us. And I think upgrading Wrath of the Forest is going to be solid. It's just going to be units locked down forever, is what I'm hoping. And we want this guy in the fighting. Let's get him in there. Very slow attack intervals. Let's get him some frontline troops to help. Yeah, we don't want him anywhere near exploding, guys. So getting him back here with the skeletons should be solid. And our adept tower placement seems to be quite good. Because they're going to have an optimal firing position on these heavily armored units. Sorry, spaced out for a second. Just for a second. Oh, so that was an ancestor summon. Pretty cool. He does like a little ghost call. Don't love the fact that these are all mixing together. So the Viking Ancestor is just a good way to block up these skeletons a little extra. Yeah, they don't do a lot of damage. And remembering how much exploding there is for these guys, it's nice that we have our soldiers somewhat spaced out. And we can even, since this isn't being used, we don't want to waste the DPS that this tower could be putting out for us. So let's bring them up here. There's no point in not doing that. And get one Sorcerer's Mage Tower, and maybe the other will be an Arcane Tower for us. And we want to kill this guy. Somebody needs to bring him down, Rohirrim style. And I think we kind of got to see the Thorns aura in action there.
Like a charm.
Let's prioritize getting an Arcane Wizard. A lot of damage. And we're going to keep our eye out for these summoning portals becoming active. Oh, sweet. So he's a bear. So he's a bear now. Awesome. So many skeletons. So very glad to have this much Wrath of the Forest, and we'll look to upgrade it because the upgrades do increase the number of seconds that they're rooted, which greatly increases the damage. Let's get rid of these guys. We do not want like just a flood of skeletons coming through here when we're trying to take out demon lords. We also do want some poison arrows, because the idea now is to burn down demon lords as quickly as possible. I'm clenching a little bit just because all of this invulnerability seems to be getting them through. More Wrath of the Forest, let's go. Yeah, not being able to focus down these demon lords and their lackeys having all of that invulnerability is rough. Upgrade this again. Would really like to see a golem here. I'm trying to think of what we could do better to get rid of these guys, because I think we're done for now. I'm gonna think on that. Keeping the demon lords separate from the heavily armored guys is definitely part of it. So maybe placing more mage towers on one side and trying to make sure we're firing as soon as those demon guys come out of the top. I think there's a way to do that. We had a bit of wasted tower placement kind of at the very end there. Those barracks didn't get used until it was already too late. You know, we're already leaking, so we don't necessarily need those barracks down there. So that was a bit of like gold mismanagement. So I'll think about that. I'll think about that and come back to it. And if I kind of get bored and do it on my own, I'll let you guys know what my ultimate strategy was. But I like this guy. Ingvar was very good at clearing skeletons. Summoning multiple ancestors is very good for holding the line against a ton of like mobby enemies. Hacksaw seems like he might also be good at that if his abilities behave like they sound. And she would definitely be good at that. She is super strong. I'm impressed with her. And Malik, who we haven't seen that much, he's probably also quite good at holding back lots of low tier skeleton units. So I'm trying to think about what I'd like to do for tomorrow, and if you're watching the video and you have a preference, let me know in the comment section before tomorrow or the day after, whenever I'm going to make the next video. I would love to hear from you guys. I'm thinking about doing Rotwick just because there are so many new enemies there. This is more demons, This gave us a lot of cool orcs. These give us like trolls and spider units, I believe. And this is a lot more units too. If I remember right, back in the day, as I was playing this, they were releasing these DLC packs or FLC packs, and this was a Halloween special, if I remember correctly, and it was very unexpected, and it was a lot of content, kind of just for free. I would have been happy to pay like another $1 or something to get these 3 levels. So anyway, guys, that'll be it for me today. Once again, my name has been Brett. My channel is Good Talk Gaming. If you like the video, let me know. Like the video and comment. Subscribe if you haven't. That'll help me out a lot. I think at the time of me recording this, I have 8 subscribers. So I notice every single subscriber I get at this point, and I really do appreciate them. Well, anyway, guys, without too much further ado, I'm going to say have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.